to everyone after this. So just an FYI, we are recording. And Amy, if you want to start.
Yep, for sure. Thanks everyone for participating today. I just wanted to first thank our coaches, the board of directors, and our Return to Sport committee for all the work that they did over the summer to make sure that we could get our Marlins back in the pool. So a huge thank you to everyone who was involved with that. Our annual general meeting is going to be held at 10 a.m. on Saturday, September 26th. We will be sending out detailed information about that in the next few days. We'd like as many of you as possible to participate in the AGM. So just mark that on your calendars. And then lastly, this season obviously looks different in terms of the swim meets that we're hosting and volunteer opportunities. We did make some significant changes to the volunteer commitment that you would have read as part of this year's handbook. We will be sending out more information later this month about volunteer opportunities. So watch out for that information. And in the meantime, if you have any questions about that, please just send me an email. It's president@miltonmarlins.ca. So that's it for me, Megan. I'll pass it back to you.
Sure, sounds good. Yeah, so this meeting, we're really going to try to just focus on all of the protocols and kind of expectations as we get back into the pool. And like Amy said, we will have more information for people regarding volunteering and other various things like we normally would give you at the start of the season at a later date. So today we're just focusing on what it will look like for the swimmers on Monday, starting back in the pool with everyone. So just if you have any questions throughout the presentation, you can put it into the chat box. That will automatically just come to me, and I'll either answer them as we go or at the end, depending on the questions. If we do, for some reason, run out of time, because I do have the next presentation at 10 o'clock, we'll make sure any of those questions that don't get answered, that we do answer them and get the information out to everyone. So at any point in time, if you have a question, just put that into the chat box. Okay, so without further ado, here we go. I think, let's see if I know how to work this. Sorry, bear with me, technical difficulties. Oh, there we go. Okay, so just our agenda for today, we're gonna go over our expectations and best practices. We have a little video tour. Everyone has seen MSC, so it's not like when we were going back into Sherwood in the summer when it was potentially a new pool for people. We have our practice instructions and equipment required. We also have our Onyx expectations and equipment required and an Onyx video tour. I believe Alana and Lorianne may be on this call also from Onyx, so we'll let them show their face at that point if they are on here. And then we'll just review all the required forms that we need prior to Monday, and then answer any questions that come up at that point. Sorry, I don't know why my screen is not, oh, there we go. Just a little delayed. Okay, so just a little review that the requirements for our return to training have been dictated by Swimming Canada and are overseen by Swim Ontario. They have approval and say over everything we do, including, right down to the number of kids in the lane, what time they're practicing at, transitions and all that. So everything that we are doing is dictated by Swim Ontario, and there are instances that our guidelines may be a little stricter than public health, and in those cases, obviously, we are following our guidelines. Our MMST standard operating procedures document is posted under news. I know a lot of the people on this call today were swimming in the summer, so hopefully they have reviewed that. The latest version of that document with some changes from Swim Ontario would have been posted just earlier this last week. So do make sure you go and click on that. I'll send this presentation out to everyone. Click on that link, read the document, make sure you are up to date on everything that is in that. Our Return to Sport committee put a lot of work into writing it and reviewing it and making the changes that Swim Ontario required, so please do make sure you do read it. Number one, no one can attend practice. That includes staff, or swimmers, unless if they are remotely unwell. So if you are unwell in any way, you cannot come to the pool. If you're unwell with a non-COVID related symptom, stay away from the pool. Let us know that that's why you're not at practice, and then wait till you are symptom-free for at least 24 hours. If you are unwell with a symptom of COVID, you cannot come to practice, and you cannot return to practice until either 14 days after that, or you are cleared by your health provider, by public health, which means a negative test. So, and we need to know if that is why you're not coming to practice. So communication is really key this year between staff and families at all times. This is all in our protocol document, so I'm not going to read everything word for word. Why it's not changing, I'm sorry. Okay, here we go. I hope I didn't skip a slide. Okay, so coaches and swimmers, everyone entering the building is required to complete a self-assessment every day at home prior to attending practice. By attending and showing up to the pool that day, you're confirming that you have done this at home and that you're well and able to attend the practice. Coaches, we are going to be meeting the swimmers outside of the building prior to every single practice, whether it's a swim practice or a dryland practice. They will always meet outside the front doors. At that point, we will do a verbal confirmation that they have done their self-screen and answer those questions. I put a little link here to an app you could do for self-screening. I know the schools have put out various, one-page documents about self-screening. So whatever tool you as a family feel works for you, but make sure you are doing that self-assessment prior to attending practice. And just a quick note that parents are not allowed on the pool deck at this time at all. And this is including in those on-deck stands. So that is coming down to us from Swim Ontario. They're very strict that the only people on the pool deck at this time are registered swimmers and registered coaches. Just a note, a reminder, I know this is not anything new to folks, but athletes and staff are required to follow proper hand hygiene and making sure that they're washing their hands every chance they get, basically. We're asking that everyone bring their own hand sanitizer with them in their swim bag at all times. There is a hand sanitizing station when they first enter into the sports center. So we will make sure that all the kids sanitize their hands at that point. But then we want them to have their own sanitizer so that they can be cleaning their hands as the last thing they do before they remove that mask. And then again, when they get out of the pool, that they are sanitizing their hands before they put their mask back on. So make sure everyone has their own little hand sanitizer. All swimmers and coaches and anyone entering the building will be required to wear a face covering when entering and exiting the facility, and the swimmers will wear that mask onto the pool deck to where they drop off their bag while they put their cap and goggles on, and it will be the very last thing that they take off prior to then being told to walk over to their spot in the lane. So social distancing, athletes and staff must maintain 2 meters distance from each other at all times, both outside. That includes during any of our outdoor dryland or activation, lining up to get into the building, while they walk through the hallway, through the change rooms into the building, on the pool deck, and then also as well in the pool while they are swimming. So it's going to look a little different when we run our practices, and those swimming in the summer know that. We will have swimmers starting from both ends of the pool. Everyone will be given a designated spot where they start in the lane, and that will be 2 meters apart at all times. So there'll be someone starting on each wall, and then there'll be the third and fourth person will be 2 meters out or under the flags at either end. So at no point is there more than one person on the wall in every lane. And we'll explain that to the kids during those first practices, obviously. Congregating of athletes pre and post practice is not permitted, so we do ask that if you arrive early to practice, that they stay in their cars. If they're biking or walking or getting there by different ways, that they keep their distance from each other, that they're not in a big huddle right in front of the doors, right? We're not the only people coming in and out of the building. And then after practice, we're really asking prompt pickup and then just leave, so that there is no congregating pre or post practice. So once the athletes enter the building, we'll walk through down the hallway through the change room, and then they will go to their designated spot in the bleachers. All the bleachers will be marked with red X's, where we will then, everyone will have a designated spot to place their swim bag. And then once they are ready to go, we will direct them to their lanes. We're asking that athletes bring a minimal number of items to the pool. We will be using equipment like our mesh bag equipment to start off the season, but just minimal items. I know some people's swim bags seem to collect shorts and towels and granola bars and 20 caps from years past. Let's just clean out the bags and keep the minimal items in. Those that used to use that off-deck area to store their mesh bags, that will be off limits. So everyone will have to bring anything they bring into the building, they do have to remove with them every day. And we're just reminding everyone to please practice the responsible social distancing at all times, even when they are away from the pool. All the athletes from the previous practice must exit the facility before the following practice enters. And if you see our practice schedule, there is a 15-minute window that is dictated again by Swim Ontario. So there's 15 minutes where there will be nobody in the pool building, nobody in the pool, on the pool deck practicing, so that will help facilitate that we're getting everyone out of the building from the first practice before the next practice enters. Our best practices: come prepared, hurried out. This is really, really key. The one area where the kids can end up being a little bit closer in contact or more congregating is in those locker rooms. So we're trying to minimize change room traffic as much as we possibly can. So we're asking, they come to the pool as clean as possible. Public health is not requiring people to shower before they enter the pools anymore at this time. And then we're asking that they don't shower at the pool post-practice, that they actually wait until they get home. Just shower at home. As much as possible, using the washroom at home prior to arrival. We know the practices are a little bit longer now in the regular season than they were in the summer. So as much as possible, use the washroom at home. The washrooms in the change room will be available if necessary, but as much as possible, let's keep out of the change rooms. Again, arrive and depart in their swimsuits as much as possible. I know some swimmers are coming straight from school. Obviously, they're not in their swimsuit all day at school, so they will have to change. But if you can, if you're coming from home, from online school, if your practice is a little bit later, please arrive in your swimsuit. And if at all possible, I know it's getting a little bit colder, but depart in our swimsuits. Bring a bathrobe, pair of cozy sweats, put that on over top of their suits, into the car and head home. And as much as possible, we really, really want that to be done, because the change rooms are not super large. And they will actually be all exiting out through the family change room, which means the entire group has to go out that one family change room. There's not a lot of stalls to change in. So just leave those for the people that absolutely have to change. Everyone else, head out in your suits, and just close over top of your suit. We're asking that they bring their own water bottle, obviously, and preferably already filled. Any other equipment required by the coach, so they can bring all their mesh bag equipment to every practice now, that's fine. And then nothing will be allowed to be shared. So no sharing of caps, goggles, no sharing of pull buoys, and that kind of thing. So make sure they have extra caps and goggles with them, right? So if their cap snaps, that they have something else to use. No sharing of anything, basically. As my slide waits to change because it's super slow, I do have a couple questions. So yeah, if you're going straight to school after morning practice, you can change out of your suit, right? Those that are not going to school that morning, depending on your cohort in high school, we will ask that those guys just head straight out to their cars. Another question. Yes, again, they can shower if they're going straight to school, right? Again, so those that don't have to head straight to school those days that have those morning practices, please just head straight out, so that then those that do have to go straight to school can use the showers. There will only be half the showers operational, open, to keep everyone spaced 2 meters apart at all times. So we're asking that athletes meet outside of the sports center no more than 10 minutes before the scheduled start time. And that's for both swim and dryland practices. So if you do arrive early, just wait in your cars or away from the entrance. As soon as you see one of the coaches, we'll be all in our bright purple shirts for the first few weeks to make sure everyone sees us and knows where they're supposed to go. But so as soon as you see a coach standing out there, swimmers can go over there and start to gather, socially distanced, of course. And outdoor dryland will always take place in the same area. So we'll always meet at that sports center front door and then walk them to where their dryland area will be, so that then if swimmers are running late, they know where to just go meet their coaches. Alex Osborne, yes, we do have early morning practice on the first Monday. It'll be an abrupt start to the swim season. All right, as soon as practice is done, we are asking that people leave nice and quick, please. Parents should be waiting in their cars at pickup. Again, you can't be on the pool deck. So just make sure you are out in your car ready to go for when your child exits the building. They're not to linger in the halls, and we ask them that they move away from that entrance as much as possible if they are waiting for their car to be picked up, because that next group is lining up to enter in. We're asking that everyone clean their equipment, their clothes, their masks, anything that they brought into the building, that they clean that every night when they get home. Wipe down all your equipment. What if your swimmer's going to be late for practice? I've had this question a few times. I know our schedules are tight for the end of school, depending on where your child goes. So if they're late, that's fine. They can enter the building themselves. If they have to self-assess before they come to the pool, obviously, and before they enter the sports center, the town has a giant poster posted up of all those, cannot enter the building if, and list the items. So as long as they can, answer all those questions, then that's fine. They enter the building, they go through the hallway into the change rooms, and onto their designated spot on deck, because their bag will always go on the same X in the stands, and then they'll always go to that same lane that they swim in. So if they're going to be late, just go in through the regular process just without a coach. If they're late and they're going to a dry land, then they'll know where to meet, because we'll always go to that same spot in the fields. Okay, we're gonna watch a video. Hopefully it will work all right. I'm sorry, there's supposed to be music for that, and I hear there was not. So I apologize. We'll try to make sure that the sound works. Richard is giving me instructions, sorry. I'll try to make sure that oh, I figured it out, works for our Onyx video. Okay. All right, practice instructions. So I know that video was kind of shaky. My video skills are not nearly as good as Richard's were for Sherwood. But basically, we will enter through the door that they're used to entering. They go down that down the hallway like normal and they'll enter through the male and female change rooms. We'll all enter through the male and female, but they are to treat those change rooms as universal change rooms. Because when lessons start, families will be entering through those male and female change rooms also. So all 3 change rooms, the family, the male, the female, should be treated as a universal change room. So if the swimmers do need to change on their way in, they're to change in the change stalls or one of the bathroom stalls. There's no changing out in the open of the change room. So we'll enter through the male-female change rooms, walk on deck around the deep end like usual, over to the bleacher stands. The first 2 sets of bleachers will be designated for all their bags, so they'll have X's marked out on those bleacher stands. They'll put their bags down in assigned spots, and then they will move to their lanes from there. When we exit, we will all go out through the family change room. Again, if they have to change, they are to use those changing stalls. If the swimmers have to change, again, if you can wait till you're at home, that's preferred. Make sure you're quick in there, because there's not 30 change stalls, and there could be 30 people in the pool at one time, right? So swimmers will be assigned to a specific lane and start point in their lane for practice. And we will send all that out by tomorrow night. Use of the whiteboard, so we're not allowed to use the whiteboard at this time. The exception is when we have our deaf swimmers, they will have a whiteboard at the end of their lane so that they can see the practice. So instructions for the workouts will be sent out via email to athletes by the night before at the latest. You can add your swimmer's email to your Marlin account in our website if you'd like them to receive the workout directly. For the seniors, I'm actually just going to send out a survey today. I know parents are getting tons of these things for school, but a quick survey today asking for your swimmer's personal email address, and then I will send the workouts to them to their email directly, not through our website, to not flood your emails as parents. And that's just for the senior group, and that's also because for Onyx, their Onyx training program is in an app, and so Onyx needs their emails to set them up with that too. So I will send that survey out to get those emails for the senior group only as soon later today. So athletes are to print it out or write it out and place it in a clear plastic bag and bring it with them to practice. There'll be no sharing of practices amongst the swimmers. We can't have the swimmers all gathering around one sheet of paper or around one whiteboard. That's why we're not allowed to use whiteboards right now. Just trying to keep the congregating to a minimum. So make sure that they print that out or type it out or memorize it and bring it with them every day. And all instructions and feedback that we give to the athletes will be provided respecting that 2 meters physical distance at all times. Whoops, the chat is now on the screen. Sorry, Richard. Okay, required equipment. Senior development and senior, you need a kickboard, fins, pull buoy, finger paddles. Our seniors, we want to also have hand paddles. Snorkel is on the list, but right now, Swim Ontario is asking that teams do not use their snorkels. So we do want you to buy one, as we'll use one later on. If you don't have one yet, you can hold off. And those that do have a snorkel, just keep it out of your mesh bag for now, right? Don't bring it to the pool because we won't be using it right now. And then I will let you know once we've been given the approval by Swim Ontario to use that snorkel. Skipping ropes, everyone will need, and that is for activation or dry land. On days that they do have outdoor dry land or outdoor activation, we ask that they have a yoga mat or an extra towel. That just helps keep them dry and off the grass, and as well as it will designate their spot that they need to stay in for their dry land activities. We also ask that everyone bring a band. If you have your own band, that's great. You can bring it. If you do not have your own band or your swimmer has misplaced it since March, we have a bunch ready to go to give out to the swimmers. And then we'll put that charge on your account. I believe they were $5 or $5 that we put that charge on the account. So if your swimmer has a band, make sure they have it for their first practice, because if they don't, then we will be giving them one of the TheraBands and charging your account for that. We also ask that everyone have a water bottle. And then for youth flex, the required items are just kickboard fins, pull buoy, finger paddles, and their water bottle. So they don't need any of the band skipping rope for that because they don't have any outdoor dry land. If your swimmer will be missing a practice for any reason at all, please email their coach so that we are aware. So there's my email address, Richard's, and Cheryl. Cheryl is our new coach on staff this year, and she will be working mainly with our younger athletes, but she will be working with our senior and senior development with their online nutrition, as well as our Saturday dry land for the senior development group. And if they are missing due to any kind of illness, please make sure you include that in your reason why they are not attending practice. All right, now we are moving on to Onyx. So Onyx has their own separate protocol document, and it is linked within our document. So if you haven't reviewed that, make sure again you go review our standard operating procedures document. Everything about is in theirs. Theirs is included in ours, sorry. So a lot of theirs is obviously similar to ours and similar to everything you're seeing everywhere. They're required to sanitize, right? Proper hand hygiene. They will have sanitizer available for them on entry. All athletes and staff will be required to wear a face covering when entering and exiting the facility until they reach their pre-designated spot and until, I would say, the trainer tells them that they're okay to take off that mask, and the trainers will be wearing their mask at all times. Social distancing requirements, again, they will maintain their 2 meters distance at all time. There'll be no congregating before or after practice. So outside of Onyx, they have a designated spot where they will line up 2 meters apart. And then after practice, again, we ask that you're prompt in your arrival pickup time to get them from the facility. Once they enter the building, this is all covered in their video they made for us. So they'll go to an assigned spot and await further instructions. There'll be markings inside the gym for them to where they are to leave their belongings, and they're only to bring those essential items with them. They need their indoor shoes, they need their water bottle already filled up, ready to go, and if they have a band, which they'll all have because we require it on our end at the pool, it would be great if they could bring their own band with them there too. So for Onyx, they will enter through the front doors, the usual front doors, and they will exit out the back. So please arrange for pickup through those back bay doors. They will be assigned a pre-marked spot for all their training, just like they are at the pool. All the equipment that they are to use will be sanitized after every use by Onyx Fit staff. So everything that they need for the workout will already be in their little spot ready to go, and when they leave, they just leave it there and it will be cleaned for them. And again, if they have their own bands, that would be great if they can bring. There'll be no sharing of equipment, and there's always that 15-minute window again before practices. Washrooms are available to use at Onyx, but we're again encouraging them to use at home before and after if at all possible. The water fountain will not be available, so again, they're to bring their own water bottles already full. It is not recommended for parents to enter the facility. The viewing area is closed, that little lobby area is closed, but if absolutely necessary for some reason, if you need to enter, you obviously have to follow the facility's protocol. When waiting for the athletes, parents are expected to practice social distancing or wait in their car in the back of the facility. And again, that waiting area inside of the building is closed. The only people in the building when our athletes are in there will be, the trainers associated with our kids and our athletes. All right, now we will play this video. If the sound doesn't work, Richard, you will tell me.
Hi, Milton Marlins, moms, dads, kids. I know that it's been a little bit tough the last 6 months, and you're eager to get back into your routine again, into the pool, back into the gym. So we just wanted to go over some rules and regulations for what you have to do when you come back to Onyx. So when you get into the parking lot, you're going to get out of your car, and we won't be letting everybody in until 5 minutes before your session start time. When you get to the gym, you're going to put your mask on. I'm sure you guys are used to these by now. Mask goes on, you're going to line up outside of the gym doors, and you have to line up at least 6 feet behind the person in front of you. Once the door opens, you're going to walk in through the door one at a time, making sure to keep your distance. And you're going to take your outdoor shoes off at the door, and you're going to walk into Studio A. Find one of the X's on the floor, and that is going to be your spot to leave your backpack. And bring out the shoes that you brought, your indoor shoes. You're going to leave your backpack on your X, and bring your water bottle, and you're going to grab your indoor shoes, and you are going to go on into the gym. Once you get into Studio B, you will see stickers on the floor, and that is where you're going to stand. These stickers are placed exactly 6 feet apart. Each child will be given their own designated spot to stand. You're going to find your spot. You are going to put on your indoor shoes at your spot. Once you get to that spot, that is where you stay for the duration of the class. You don't need to worry about your equipment. It will be all set up for you before you come to class. As soon as class starts, that's when you can take your mask off. All of your Onyx trainers will be wearing a mask for your protection. Options this season is live stream. Once the class is over, you're going to take your mask, you're going to put it back on, and you are going to leave your equipment where you found it. Your trainer will sanitize the equipment, and it will be pre-sanitized again before the next group of athletes come in. Once you're in class, you're going to take your indoor shoes off at your circle. You are going to pick them up, and you are going to walk 6 feet apart from the person in front of you and behind you, and grab your outdoor shoes. Once you get to your X where you left your backpack, you are going to put your indoor shoes back into your backpack and pick up your outdoor shoes. Make sure you have everything you came with, water bottle and shoes and your mask, which should be on your face. And you are going to take your shoes, your outdoor shoes with you, and you are going to proceed to the back door.
All right. So just to, if there's any questions associated with Onyx, let me know now. Yes, Lorianne, you can click on and say hello. Okay, so Lorianne, if you want to turn your video on, go ahead.
It's Alana, actually.
Oh, Alana, sorry.
Hi, guys. If you have any questions, the best way to kind of reach us is via email. We will be live streaming you as well. So if you're taking the live stream option, check your emails for a reoccurring Zoom link. That will be coming to you at some point before Tuesday. And I will be taking on the seniors this year. I'm taking over for Adrian, and I will be seeing the senior development team as well, both groups, Tuesday and Thursday, along with Carly and Justin. And I think that's it. So if you have any questions besides what the video covers, feel free to shoot us an email and we will get back to you.
Okay, great, thanks. So Alana is the one, like she said, that will be working with our athletes the majority of the time. we'll make sure to connect you guys so that you all have her contact information as needed. And yeah, if you have any questions that come up, make sure you do ask us. And we will make sure that we pass that on to them or connect you guys and get that answer for you. So just a reminder with the required Onyx equipment, those streaming the workouts will require a band, which again, we can provide, or if they already have one, and also a set of 10 and 15 pound weights. For the first at least week, I know Alana said they won't use those as everyone kind of gets used to the various equipment and gets used to everything. A very important note regarding the live stream workouts, and this is coming to us again from Swim Ontario in regards to our insurance. The swimmers must have their camera turned on and be visible to the trainer. And only registered Marlin swimmers can be in the video participating in the workout. So those are absolutely required. If a swimmer shows up and won't be turning on their video, then Alana will just have to, kick them off the workout, because for our insurance reasons from Swim Ontario, cameras must be turned on, visible to the trainer, and only our Marlin swimmers can be the ones participating. So required forms for Onyx, there's 2, and those are posted on our registration page. There's the Onyx Fit release waiver, and there's their PAR-Q. Those 2 forms must be submitted to Onyx at your swimmer's first training session. If your first training session for your swimmer is online, please email me those completed forms to my email, headcoach@miltonmarlins.ca, by Monday night, and then I will make sure they get all sent together to Alana. Do not drop those forms off in our Marlin mailbox. Those are to go to Onyx. So either take them with them to Onyx or email me a copy. I don't want a hard copy on Monday. And we'll make sure that those get to the trainers. The link to those 2 forms, again, will be in this slideshow.
They can also drop them on it at mailbox out here if they prefer, instead of email.
Oh, okay. There's a
That's
mailbox
okay with us
outside
too.
of the gym?
Yeah, there's a mailbox right outside the studio. If they drop them in there, that works for us too, if they prefer, instead of email.
Perfect. So you guys could do that this weekend then if you wanted, families. That's great. Good to know. And then this is the list of required forms for us for the swim side of things. And right now there's still about 50 families who have not completed this. And if you have not completed this, you cannot enter the building and practice with us on Monday morning or Monday night or whenever your first practice is. This is hard and fast rule this year. So all of these forms are done online in the Swimming Canada registration system. You've been given multiple emails. I think Katerina said yesterday she sent out her 3rd round to families that haven't completed things. So you must log on to your Swimming Canada family account. And within there are 3 forms: the COVID attestation form, the assumption of risk, and the Rowan's Law. Those are all done online. And then you have to update and confirm your contact information. So make sure that you are updating, confirming, clicking on the consent tab, doing everything, double check it, and submit the form at the end. So if you have any questions on that, please email admin@miltonmarlins.ca. But if you have not completed that by Monday, we cannot let you in the pool. So just make sure you take care of that. If you got an email yesterday from Katerina, you are one of those who have not finished that. I have some just last kind of random reminders that didn't fit anywhere else in my slideshow. So earlier this past week, I sent out a survey just asking what school your kids go to, if you're participating in a carpool with any other families, what cohort for high school. I know not all the high schools know that information yet. If you can complete that, if you haven't yet, by the end of today, we are, like I said, sending out our lane assignments tomorrow. We'll try to group people as much as we can logically, but there are kids that go to the same school but are in different groups. So obviously we can't group them together in a lane, but it is just helpful for us to know who is carpooling, who is already kind of, in their own little bubble, and how can we, accommodate that in the pool as best we can. So if you haven't completed out that survey about the school's information, send it by today. MD high school kids, if you still don't know your cohort by the end of today, don't worry about it, because we are making those lane assignments tomorrow. And we'll email that all out to everyone by tomorrow night. Rain or shine, and I believe Drew, you had a question, Drew Amphlett, you had this question in the chat box. So rain or shine, we will run dryland outdoors. Dress appropriately. Bring your rain jacket, bring your umbrella, although that will make working out hard. But rain or shine, we will be running dryland. thunderstorm, like lightning, we won't. Tornado, we won't. But otherwise, we will. So assume it is on. Assume it is on. If for some reason it is not, we will email you, right? So just assume it is on, dress appropriately. A note with your registration too, all the checks required to complete your registration are to be dropped off to that locked mailbox outside our Marlin office. The sports center will be open to the public as of Monday, if not this weekend, but as of Monday. So make sure on that your child's first practice that you are bringing all of those checks required with you. Ensure your contact information is accurate in your account on our website. So if you didn't double check that when you were registering, please log into your account, double check that parent cell phone information is accurate, emergency contact information is accurate. That is what we will use if for any reason we need to get a hold of you while we're at the pool. And that is also, I give all of your emergency contact and parent contact information to Onyx so that they have that as well. We want to make sure that we have the most accurate, up-to-date information for both at Onyx and at the pool. Just a note about if you haven't got all your swim equipment yet, I sent an email out about this last week or the week before. All Tides, which is a swim store, they're actually doing a club fundraiser. So any purchase off this Speedo specific page of their website, which includes fins, kickboards, pull buoys, snorkels, swimsuits, race suits, anything you buy off that page, if you enter our code in, which is MMST, 20% automatically comes back to the club. So if you are in need of any new equipment, that's a great place to get it. It helps the team out, it helps you out. They also have a bunch of stuff on sale right now as well. Also the Team Aquatics online barbecue sale, I believe they just released information about that. So you'll have to take a look at that also if you are looking for equipment. Be sure to follow us on all our social media. It's where we will try to keep everyone up to date on everything, try to minimize the emails going out to families as much as we can. So make sure you are following us on the social media. And then just one last note before we will answer any questions. Just the Terry Fox Run, which we participated in the past few years, it's obviously gone virtual this year. It'll be Sunday the 20th. And we are signed up as a team to participate. So we encourage you to go to that link, join our team, raise funds for a good cause. And then on the 20th, share with us your photos and videos of you and your families doing your virtual runs from wherever that may be. And we'll make sure that we, share that with our families. So I'm going to stop sharing my page now so that I can look at these questions. If anyone has any questions, put them into the chat box now.
Megan, can I have a question?
Yeah.
This is Murat Bakkal, Neil's father.
Yeah.
Just I wonder, this is a mandatory form about the COVID. I already did that, but with Milton Marlin's webpage. Now you said different way.
Yeah. So in the summer they had us doing the forms one way because they were just getting things set up. Now all of those forms are in the Swimming Canada system. So all of the forms, even if you participated and were swimming, on August 30th, everything restarts as of September 1st. So everyone needs to log in and do the forms through the Swimming Canada webpage. That's just now all COVID forms are in one big database.
So I have to refill again all the forms with the Canada swimming webpage,
yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, for sure. I have a question about the checks. Please look in the handbook. All of that information is in the handbook for how much your check should be. If you have any questions on that, email admin@miltonmarlins.ca. Katerina will get back to you on that. Just going through the chat box again for some more questions. Madeline, your question about coaching, I'll answer you via text after this. Sarah, yes. For the senior group will be doing 1 week Onyx online and 1 week Onyx in person, alternating. So group A, which I sent out, and I'll send this all out again to remind people, group A will be in person on Tuesday and Thursday this week, the 15th and 17th, and group B will be online, and group B's first in-person session will be on the 22nd. Any other questions in the chat box? Again, I will be sending out the recording of this meeting. I will send out a PDF of the slideshow so you have all the information that I was reading. And if you have any question, please just email myself or Richard. Oh, another question came in. So when dryland follows swimming, will they get to change? Yeah, when dryland is after swimming, and I know the weather's getting colder, they can absolutely do a real quick change. Speed is of the essence, basically. The days that dryland is before swimming, we ask that they for sure come in their suit. Question about swim meets. Swim meets are not confirmed yet. We don't have details on when that will resume. Richard and I have been having discussions, and I've been talking with other coaches too about how we can make sure that we're still providing competitive opportunities for our swimmers. So we have a plan, a draft plan in place for what we will do now through Christmas time, with a little bit of a series of challenges and competitions, and resulting in racing. It will not look the same as usual, obviously, and we will send all that out to folks as soon as we kind of get that confirmed. Right now, I'm just focusing on getting 130 swimmers back into the water, and then we will get that information out to you about what swim meets or competition opportunities will look like for this year. Nutrition, where will the nutrition take place? So for our senior development athletes, the nutrition is online Monday night. For our senior athletes, we're going to start by doing it in person, just outside in the field, as long as the weather is all right, because I know that our high school kids are online for a lot of their school already, so we're going to try to prolong the amount of Zoom that they have at this point in time. So we will start. Oh yes, here's Cheryl. Okay, so Cheryl is she's waving. Her video is now on. This is Coach Cheryl. She is, like I said, coaching our younger kids, but she will be the one working with your athletes on the nutrition side of things. We will also be setting up some parent nutrition sessions. We just haven't firmed up dates and things like that, but we'll send that out to everyone. But we will get that out to you all. Senior Development Onyx will be in person every week, yes. Where do we purchase t-shirts and caps? So caps can be purchased from if you ask your coach, the coach can get them from the office, and then we put that charge on your account. We will be doing a Milton Marlin apparel order, but like a little bit later, probably towards October, just again, once we get everything rolling. With no in-person swim meet immediately happening, we aren't as pressed for time on apparel, but we will be putting an apparel order in this fall. Plans for a banquet or hand out awards from last season. Plans for a banquet, not at this time, but yes, we do want to make sure that we hand out our awards from last season. So our award winners, Richard and I and the other coaches, did sit down and select those last spring. So we will make sure that those people are recognized for sure. Any other, questions about volunteering? Amy will, she said we will get information out to folks about that via email or set up a different meeting at a later date, those about volunteering. Are there going to be any clinics, like officials clinics, I'm assuming you're asking about? Likely those will be online, and we're just waiting for information from Swim Ontario about what those will look like. All right, I'm getting questions about fundraising. Again, we will get that kind of information out to you as we decide and have. Amy, you want to jump in on that?
Yeah, I will. So our focus right now for the next kind of 2 weeks is to get all our swimmers in the pool. We will be sharing more information about volunteer commitment. So the officials requirement to get clinics, we're pretty sure Swim Ontario will be offering those online. And then as part of our volunteer commitment information, there'll be things like a fundraising committee. So we will communicate that out to you in the next couple of weeks. Another way to volunteer, a couple board positions are coming up this year. So I highly recommend that you participate in our annual general meeting that will be scheduled for September 26th at 10 a.m. We'll be doing it by Zoom. And again, more information to come as soon as we can.
Thanks, Amy. Are there
No
any
problem.
more questions related kind of to the protocols or anything to do with getting back into the pool on this week? Like Amy said, we'll address kind of those other things as we go. If there's no further questions right now. Oh, someone was not able to get their mesh bag from MST. Well, then it will still be there. So Thomas, on that first practice, we will go in and get your mesh bag. So yeah, we're going, I have a question about the schedule. We are going right into the schedule that is posted for the schedule that starts September 14th on our website. We're going right into that. Yeah. Again, I'll send out, when I send out the lane assignments tomorrow, I'll send out a link just reminding about the schedule, a reminder about your Onyx groups. You know, they'll get their first workout for Monday and that kind of thing. If there's any more questions that come up, we are going to wrap this up because we have to start the next meeting here in a few minutes. So any questions that come up, please send me an email, headcoach@miltonmarlins.ca. We will get back to you as soon as possible. We look forward to seeing you from a distance because parents, please stay in your cars, right, when you're dropping off your kids. We just don't want to have too many bodies congregating around that main door as we go in and out of the building. So look forward to seeing you. Please reach out to us by email if you do have any questions over the weekend or, you know, as we start the week and things may come up. Otherwise, have a great weekend and look out for those emails or email tomorrow just with all those last minute lane assignments, groups, and all that kind of thing. All right, thanks so much, guys, and we will see you next week.